Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the first episode of Dude What Podcast of 2022. I hope you had a really great Christmas and a really cool sort of New Year. Really been looking forward to getting back into it. Gonna sort of mix a few things up this year, and I'm gonna explain as we go. But first, let me introduce my guest this week. It's the one and only Mr Callum Hamby. How the hell you doing, bro?
Good. Had a nice break over Christmas and New Year. Yeah, it's been really nice actually having a few weeks of seeing family and doing nothing, and yeah, back in work tomorrow.
Nice, man. Yeah, same as me. So you've had like a nice long time off over Christmas.
I've had very close to about 3 weeks off. I had about 2.5.
Yeah, really. I had like just under 2 weeks.
Yeah. It was so it's pretty good, and I didn't have to take that much annual leave really either. So it was pretty good actually, and it was just nice having time to just do nothing around the house, do jobs that I've been putting off for ages, and it's been good.
Oh, cool, man. That's good to hear. We stopped doing the podcast. The last episode was with you back in like early December, and so it's been ages since we've done one of these. And it's kind of like I've been really looking forward to it, but then also like, whoa, sort of I don't know. It's weird, like getting back into it.
Yeah.
So before we carry on, obviously I want to talk about a bit more things, but before we carry on, the elephant in the room or whatever, Mr. Tomo has stepped down as co-host from this podcast due to sort of various reasons. There's no bad blood or anything like that before you think about that sort of thing. He's literally just stepped down. But he is going to be back. He's going to be guesting on the pod sort of whenever I can get him, really. And also, I think the live streams on a Friday are still going to go ahead. I stepped in for Tomo a few times doing that because it was supposed to be his sort of thing. But I actually really enjoyed it. So I think I'm going to keep that going. Maybe not every Friday. Maybe I'll just sort of announce on Instagram when I'm going to be doing it. But I think I'm going to carry on doing that. So hoping to have Tomo back on that as well. So yeah, unfortunate, but these things happen. So rather than sort of just end the podcast after 1 year, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna keep it going. I'm gonna mix things up, as I said. So what I'm gonna do is the Harry's Half Hour shows that we had last year, where it started out as being half an hour and then it turned into like an hour and a half episodes with friends and whatnot, where I do like the entertainment news. That's gonna be like half of these podcasts now, Dude What, and then the other half is going to be sort of, I don't know, just like a conversation topic with guests, hoping to have different guests. Well, not different guests, hoping to have sort of a variety of guests, and then I can just sort of keep getting people back. Mr. Callum Hamby said that he would do it, so yeah, thanks. But yeah, that's going to be how the new Dude What podcast is going to work this year. Going to see how it goes. Hopefully it goes pretty well. Let me know what you think of the new format. Send an email at dudewhatpodcast@gmail.com, Instagram at dudewhatpodcast, speakpipe.com/dudewhatpodcast, and buy me a coffee /dudewhatpodcast if you want to throw us a quid. So Hamby, sorry man, let's get back to sort of what we did over Christmas and that. So you had a lot of time off. I had a lot of time off. Did you went and travelled to see family and stuff, did you?
Yeah. Sorry, I got a bug in my throat. We didn't get to do anything last year because of COVID and stuff. So this year we kind of tried to do like big family gatherings for mine and my girlfriend's family. So that was really, really nice. I was like a little bit nervous of catching COVID like the week before. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember because like I was meant to be seeing quite a few different sets of friends from uni and things, going into London. And obviously London was where it was all kicking off back sort of mid-December time.
Yeah, definitely.
And I cancelled like a couple get-togethers with friends from university and stuff. The only thing I carried on doing was hanging out with you and Tomo, the last weekend before Christmas. And even then I was like I could catch it off. Either I could catch it off one of you guys or give it to you guys. Man. Luckily, I don't think any of us got it from each other. So
we didn't.
I think we're all good. But it was, so it was a bit sort of touch and go towards the end. Want to half of Tilly's family actually ended up getting it just
Oh,
before
really?
Christmas.
No way.
But they ended their isolation like literally Christmas Eve, I think it was.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's good.
So it wasn't so bad. So we saw them on Boxing Day, which is pretty good. Yeah, so it's been pretty good actually, and so I had about a week off beforehand, and then a week or so after. So it was nice actually. Yeah, lots of traveling, lots of driving.
So
But
we usually do that. We usually do all the travelling. We go see everybody, travel up down to Bristol, up to, North Wales, whatever, go see family. This year, last year, it was the first year in our new house. And for years we've been saying, we're going to do Christmas, we're going to host it, and we always ended up going to someone else's. So this last Christmas, we sort of put our foot down and we were like, no, we're hosting Christmas this year. Due to various reasons, not everybody could come. But yeah, we ended up having a few people round to ours for Christmas, and it was nice. It was nice, like everyone came to us at like different times over the whole period and whatnot, but everybody came to us as opposed to us going to them. So it was really nice, yeah. And we full on were in the sort of the hosting mindset for a long time. Yeah, crazy though, really crazy. But we were being really strict with the COVID restrictions. We were making everybody take the tests before they came round, taking them ourselves like almost every day.
Yeah. We well, the thing is, like, my family are pretty relaxed about it. I took one. We both took them just before we went, just because my grandma was there.
Yeah.
But even she doesn't. If I'm being honest, she doesn't give a shit.
yeah.
Like she goes out to restaurants and cinemas and things with her friends. I don't know. I think like a lot of older people are kind of like
Yeah, who cares?
kind of a little bit more done with it. But
Yeah.
No, it was good. We had a good time. I tested quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I said to my girlfriend, I was like, if I get it now, like I wouldn't. I mean, it'd suck. I don't really want to get it, but if I got it now, like it's like fine. It's in January, so it's not so bad. But
Yeah.
If I was to get it like the week before Christmas,
I was surprised because we have, like, in fairness, we've sort of seen a lot of different people. Obviously, I said we were testing every time, but we've seen a lot of different people, and as far as I'm aware, no one that we know of basically has got it from all.
That's
the
crazy.
meeting,
I know,
which was
like,
good.
That's crazy. Like I know quite a few people who've had COVID. I think like. Yeah, I know loads of people who've had COVID the last month or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Probably the most like since the start.
Oh really?
Yeah. As in people I know who've got it, or had it recently.
One of the people I went to see was our good friend Adam Homer, Grizzly Bear. He not long ago, probably actually like maybe 3 weeks or so, bought a house with his partner, and he invited us to go over there and see it. So and hang out and whatnot. So we took a bottle of wine, we went over there, and I think I send you I sent you a picture of both of us, but like it was after the fact. Like it's a nice house, man. It's got a lot of character. It's like a 2-bed, but it's like a really old. He said it was like 200-year-old inn or something that's been split into like 3 houses, like terraced houses, and he's in the middle one. Really nice, really nice. Like, I mean, I know Adam listens to these now. He's telling me that he listens to the eps with me and you on it and stuff, and he loves it. It's like he's there in the conversation. He was saying that he was in his car and he's like talking to the podcast, like,
Adam, you suck.
Yeah. But yeah, he won't mind me saying that it's quirky. It's a quirky house. Like, it's got a lot of like twists, turns. Some ceilings are lower than others and things, but like it's cozy. It is nice, man. But if you went there and you said, how long have these people been living there? You'd be like, oh, year or so. They just had everything up. Like it looked so established. Whereas I've been in my house now not that long, but like coming up 5 months, I think, and we've still got boxes everywhere, like boxes of all of our stuff. And I think we didn't want to get things out because we wanted to like decorate and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, having seen Adam's house, it basically pushed us to make our house look nice, you know, like, because our house is a bit crummy. Like, we're using all old furniture and stuff like that. So we spent the last few days, literally right up until 2 a.m. at some nights, just redoing, excuse me, redoing our living room, kitchen. Fee's done all this tiling in the kitchen. We've completely changed the living room. We've been going to like the HomeSense, the Dunelm, and yeah, totally changed it. I was telling you before the podcast, because we had a few games on Xbox before we came on, and I was telling you that one of the things that we've done is we've wall mounted the TV. Now, usually I hate wall mounted TVs. I just don't like them. I don't want to be looking at a wall, you know, up a wall. I like a unit with stuff on it, and I like the TV unit. But our living room's quite small, so with the TV unit there, it really ate into the space. So we bought a TV wall mount, and we were like, yeah, let's slap it up, you know, like knocked on the wall. Yeah, it's all right. Seems solid enough. Both of us were drinking. We'd had a fair few beers and wines, and putting this wall mount up. I'm going to put 50% of the blame on Fee as well. Like, we both managed to bodge the hell out of this thing, man. Wall plugs were going in, falling through. Turns out there's actually a pretty big cavity behind there. I thought it was going straight into like concrete. So anyway, about an hour of like, you know, forehead scratching and just putting like wall plugs in just for the hell of it. The TV's on the wall. It's sturdy. You can hang off it. It ain't going anywhere. And it's just like, step back and just leave it there. So anyway, after all that, we were like, yes, it's finally done, you know, because there was a time when I had to get the angle grinder out and cut through some of the bolts because I bodged it that bad. But anyway, we're like, yeah, we got it on the wall. Looks good. Sat back down. It's too fucking high, man. It's way too high. It's literally like halfway up the wall. Like I was saying to you, it's like front row seat in the cinema, neck cramp, looking up at the wall, you know.
Oh God!
But I bodged it so bad putting it on there that I do not want to even attempt to take it off or move it or anything. So I've just been trying to do everything I can to get used to this new, like, you know, position.
Oh God!
To start with, I was like, no, I can't do it. It needs to come down. I can't do it. But to be fair, I've been playing a few games and watching a few things on it, and I think, give it a bit of time, I'll get used to it. I mean, it's high up, but let me say this, right? You've been to Tomo's house.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Have you seen where Tomo's parents have put their TV screen?
Yeah, it's like it's like
all the way up there,
dude. There's an entire. I spend far too much time on Reddit. There's an entire subreddit for. I'll try and find out what it's called. It's like there's an entire subreddit that's all for like badly placed TVs, and it's people going like, went to my friend's house and like this TV's like fucking like on the basically nearly like on the fucking ceiling, you know, kind of.
Well, that's what Tomo's living room TV is like, and I sort of get it. Like, you know, if you properly lean back into the seat and you have your head on the back of the seat thing and you're watching a film, yeah, it's fine. But if it's like edge of the seat gaming and stuff, yeah, you're like that. But it's not as high as Tomo's. It's further down, and it looks good in the room. You know, like it doesn't look bad until you actually sit on the sofa and what. So we're thinking we want to get new sofas anyway. We're going to get like a smaller, taller sofa. But yeah, it's pretty touch and go for a while with that TV wall mount.
Where ours is now. It's like pretty much eye level when you're sat on the sofa. And for me, that's like perfect.
Yeah, that's ideal. Yeah,
because our sofa's like a proper lounging one, so I can like lounge and like.
yeah. I wish that I had taken a few extra measurements and just stepped back before swigging that beer and going, "Fuck it, let's just put it on the wall," you know. So, but it looks good with the room. It doesn't look like a bad height when you walk in, and when you walk, it looks good. You know, I think I sent you a picture. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
But so yeah, went to see Adam. His new job's going really well. It was great to see him because we actually haven't like properly hung out in person in ages. And I told you that he's getting a dog, which is cool. So I think hopefully we're going to try and fix up some sort of dog meet with the three of us. That'd be really cool.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah. I heard our dog's been he's been all right. He's probably he's liked having us around for the last 2 weeks. So coming
Yeah,
back to work
yeah,
tomorrow, and he's gonna be on his own again.
yeah. Same with Zeph. I think he's been going on like a lot of really nice walks. We've been going to different places and yeah, just sort of having fun. One thing I forgot to say, yeah, is with all the junk furniture that we've got out of the house. The last few nights we've been having like big fires in the garden. Yeah, so he's been out there like howling at the embers as they like float up, you know. We were going to do it tonight, but like, excuse me, got the burps. We were going to do it tonight, but I don't really want to because, I mean, I don't want to piss off the council or something, you know. I mean, like, we don't live in like rural, you know, we're in Birmingham, and I'm not sure what the law is on like setting big fires in Birmingham, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, other than that, I've been doing a little on-off gaming recently. I finished Halo. I've written down here Halo 3. I haven't finished Halo 3. I finished Halo Infinite recently. Have you made any more progress with that?
I think I've got like 2 or 3 missions to go. There's 15 missions in total, and I think I can't remember if I said it in the last pod before Christmas, but like I like the main story so far. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I just can't be arsed with all the other shit, like the side quests and
Yeah,
stuff.
I get you. So I started doing all the side quests and things like that, and then I was just like, yeah, like
They're
I
so
can't
repetitive.
be bothered. Yeah, I can't be bothered. And this is something that we're going to get into later in the episode. We'll get into what the meat of it is, but before we do, let's go ahead and jump into the sort of entertainment weekly segment. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing a lot of hand movements. I think maybe I need like a... Oh, actually, no, let's not jump into that. Let's jump into everyone's favourite segment. It's the first time this year. I almost forgot it. I literally can't believe that. It's everyone's favourite segment. It's What Are We Drinking?
What are we drinking?
Okay, for this What Are We Drinking, I've got a beer and you've got a beer, man.
Yeah.
Yours looks more interesting, so let's save yours for a sec.
It's not that interesting.
Well, it's more interesting than what I've got, man. For Christmas, we bought loads of just boxes of lagers and things, and I have the last Sol that was in the fridge. It's good. It's like just a refreshing Mexican lager, a cerveza.
I remember when we first started to like hang out and get drunk.
Yeah.
I think Sol was one of those beers that we'd always used to get for some reason.
We did. Yeah, I think it was because we're just partial to the Mexican lagers.
Yeah.
I like them more than just the American lagers because they're just a little bit gross, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a Sol. I'm dying of thirst. I'm going to crack it open. You all know how refreshing it tastes. If you haven't had a Sol, you know, it's just a Corona, basically. Just a Corona that's not as good.
I've not really had many of those Mexican lagers recently. I used to drink Sol now and again, but you've got to have a lime with it, haven't you?
Fee likes them with the lime. I'm not bothered about having the lime in the Mexican lagers.
Yeah?
Yeah, either way. It's just the faff that I can't be bothered with. I'd rather just crack it and drink it. But yeah. Sol, I was going to say it's delicious. It's nice. It's refreshing. It's just very light. Yeah, you can't really go wrong with it. There's not a whole lot to say. I say this is the last Sol because if it wasn't this, it was going to be a Budweiser. And I thought, you know what? I can't bring Budweiser onto What Are We Drinking?
Nah, hell no.
So yeah, the last Sol is what I'm drinking today. Don't really have much to say about it. Hamby, yours looks fairly interesting. What are you drinking today?
It's not. So we've started shopping at Aldi again. We had a few years without it, and we've now gone back to Aldi. So
yeah.
I've now got the pleasure of drinking like all the Aldi knockoff versions of
the
like
weird
popular
beers.
So like you get like Peroni is like Rossini, and I had like I had one like I had a bottle of San Marcos last night, which was for San Miguel.
Yeah,
But it tastes fine. It tastes absolutely fine. So tonight I'm drinking. It's from Harper's Brewing Company. It's the American IPA.
That looks good.
I don't know what it's a rip-off of. I feel like it is a rip-off of... Is it maybe like Adnams or something, maybe?
Could it be like the Shipyard American IPA?
Oh, yeah, Shipyard, maybe. Either way, yeah. It's very nice.
Yeah, hoppy.
It's very, very nice. Yeah, very hoppy. Yeah, it's just pleasant. It's been in the fridge. It's ice cold. I say, I've had a lot of these Aldi beers over the years. They also do like a Kronenberg rip-off called like 1897 or something.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
it's honestly like absolutely fine. It tastes like exactly the same. I said to Tina that I reckon they make it in the same factory.
They probably do. Yeah, just slap a different label on it. Yeah,
it's the same thing. Yeah. No, nice, cheap.
So I really like
something.
Aldi. I really like the little tin craft beers. I think they're actually quite nice from Aldi. Like, and sometimes they are like not the biggest brand names, but they're still like recognizable names.
Yeah, they also. So I was in there doing the shopping yesterday, and they do. I haven't shopped Aldi for a few years, so a lot of this is new stuff. They do like a big bottle of like knockoff like Leffe, like not actual Leffe. You know Leffe. One of my favorite beers, Leffe. And you can get like a massive bottle. It's like £2 or something for like a proper big bottle of like Belgian beer.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, I didn't get it because I had a few other ones in there, but
I had a Belgian beer the other day actually, and it was just a random. I just grab it. It was one of those 3 for £5 from Tesco, and I picked 2 things, and I couldn't pick on the third one, so it was just a random one. It was like an Erdinger or something like that.
Oh yeah, Erding is German, I think, isn't it?
Is it German? But... Yeah, well, it was delicious.
Yeah.
It really was delicious. So
Erding is nice. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Bit of a
tasty.
Sorry.
Tasty. No.
Good. You have to excuse me just one sec because my cat has barged in and is now using something as a scratch post in the corner of the room, which I'm sure will be picking up in the mic. So excuse me just one sec, everyone. That is a typical cat move, that is. Sleep on the sofa all day, and then as soon as you actually need to start doing something, it's like scratching down the wall to get in. Don't know. Anyway, that's pretty good what we're drinking, dude. Okay, so before we did what are we drinking, we were going to jump into the entertainment news section. So let's sort of rock through this, and then we'll get to the talking point of today's episode. I'm not sure how this is going to work, really, with guests and things. So I guess, Hamby, if there's something that we're talking about that you just sort of pick up on, feel free to chime in with things, man.
Mm-hmm.
I've got like a list of the news stories of the week that I found interesting or notable. So here we go. The first piece of news is that Spider-Man is still dominating the box office, currently at over 600 million in North America. Over 1.37 billion worldwide, and is currently the biggest movie that Sony have ever had. What do you think of that, man? Have you seen it yet?
I haven't, no.
Oh, dude.
Me and my girlfriend, mainly me, I don't like going to the cinema wearing masks, and it's kind of like...
Yeah, but you take it off when you're actually sat down.
The one, apparently now, you have to keep it on. I mean, also, the cinema near us is expensive as balls.
Yeah.
It's like 15 quid a ticket, unless you go on a Tuesday or Wednesday. So
yeah,
we've both just gone off going to the cinema. In all honesty,
oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Since COVID, and like we watched like No Time to Die the other day.
Oh, you've finally seen
YouTube.
it then?
I finally watched it.
Yes.
Finally watched it. And it was really good. I enjoyed it. But yeah, staying on topic. Just gone off the cinema.
Okay.
Since COVID, really.
That's fair enough. I mean, so my experience of the cinema now is that you wear the mask when you're doing everything, but it's like a restaurant. When you've sat down, you take the mask off, and you'll find that if you're booking seats, because I only really go to the cinema now if it's like, a big film and I've pre-booked the seats, you'll find that most people at my cinema anyway, there's always like 2 seats free after each group. So you're still in your own little space. And we went to see Spider-Man when it came out. I think it was ages ago now, it feels like. But really, really good, man. Really good. first half of the film's a little bit like muddled. It sort of struggles with pacing a little bit, but then second half of the film is just fantastic, so good. Have you had it spoiled for you yet? Because it's just everywhere on my news feed and people talking.
I've seen
and
it. I've seen like a handful of like scenes spoiled.
stuff. So like all
mainly-
the best ones probably.
Nah, like well, the thing is, I don't really. Not really. Nothing like major spoiled. I know that.
Okay.
I know that obviously like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are both in it and stuff already.
Okay, yeah.
So
Spoiler
the
alert,
things
everyone.
that have been. Yeah, the things that are like been spoiled are like them in the movie at some point. So it's like okay.
I'm glad I
but-
went to see it, yeah, because the memes and the my Facebook, my news feed is just Spider-Man at the minute. Like, and I don't even follow that many Marvel pages or anything. It's just Spider-Man memes everywhere.
No, I've heard from like nearly everybody that it's a really good movie, and
Yeah.
I think like it'll probably be on like streaming, or what we've been doing for movies that we want to watch that have just come out. Like we watched No Time to Die. I think we paid like 13 quid for it on YouTube. I think.
Oh, really? Oh, fair enough.
Or Amazon? Was it Amazon? I can't remember.
Yeah.
And I said to Tilly, like, it sounds like a lot, but actually, like, it only came out 2-3 months ago, and like that cinema is so expensive that's probably how much it would have cost if we went on like. Tuesday,
Well, yeah,
Wednesday, so.
we've done it before. We've we've rented like a brand new film off the Sky Cinema thing because like turn the lights off, get the popcorn out. It's still an experience, you know.
I think I've gotten more used to just watching movies in my own house now.
Okay, yeah,
And
yeah.
I think now it's like, oh, I like that now. I like being able to like pause it, get up and get a drink.
I get that, but
That kind of
some
stuff.
films are made, and I know we've said this before because I've been Fee's been listening through a lot of our previous podcasts, and I've sort of heard bits of them. I know that we said it before, but some films are made to be shown on the IMAX big screen in the IMAX 3D with the cameras and everything. So I feel like if you don't go and see it then, you're never going to see the film the way it was intended to be seen. That's why we do go to the cinema. But as I say, we only go to see films that are like, ones that you have to go see like that. If it's just anything, I'd rather just wait for it to come out on DVD or something and then just, watch it on Amazon or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of watching things, the Harry Potter reunion is now on Sky and HBO Max, or whatever it's called. Have you seen that yet?
My girlfriend did. My girlfriend
okay.
watched it because we have the Sky channels. My girlfriend is really, really into Harry Potter. So she watched it live. I think.
Oh, nice,
on,
nice.
On Saturday night.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, she watched it live on Saturday night. I didn't. I came up and watched something else upstairs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like I'm just not into Harry Potter. Like,
Yeah,
I
so
never have been. Yeah.
I've never been into Harry Potter either, really. I went to see them with my primary school on like day out trips when they were coming out. For the first couple anyway. I've seen them all at least once and never really been that interested in them. But then I saw this reunion things coming out and I just said to Fee like, hey, do you fancy watching through those? They're all on Sky. So I was like, you fancy watching through all those? So we've been making our way through them all before we watch any of the the reunion, or there's like a quiz episode with Helen Mirren hosting it on Sky as well. But before we watch that, we're watching through them all. So we are now on Goblet of Fire, which is, if I remember right, it's probably my favourite one out of all of them, to be honest.
I've seen them all, but I think when I was younger, I just was never that into them.
Yeah.
Or not, didn't dislike them, just wasn't as hyped for them as some people were.
I tried to read the first book and just got bored with it.
Yeah.
Just totally got bored with it straight away.
Yeah, I can appreciate it. Like, it's one of the biggest franchises, isn't it? Like,
well, like for like British cinema and stuff, I guess. It's a big deal. Moving on from Harry Potter, did you hear? I said Potter, then Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Moving on from that, did you hear that Betty White, the actress famous for things like Golden Girls, has died age 99? That was the first piece of news I saw on my phone, January 1st. It was actually the first thing I saw, and I was like, obviously, like, she's not really a big deal for us over here in the UK, in the US,
Yeah.
she's like the national treasure, like one of the
Yeah,
everybody loves
yeah.
her. But yeah, it's everywhere.
It was so weird. We were playing like on Boxing Day or day after Boxing Day. We were playing like a celebrities game where you basically have to like pick a celebrity and then someone has to guess who
Yeah.
picked the celebrity. And like somebody picked Betty White, and I remember thinking at the time, I was like, "That's weird, Betty White. It's just obscure one to pick." Everyone would pick. Everyone was picking like footballers and like Leonardo DiCaprio and stuff.
Are
So
these
Betty
things
White
that you
was
had to
like, "Oh,
pick
that's not
yourself,
obscure."
or were they pre-selected?
You just had to pick it, and I just remember
Oh,
thinking
okay.
at the time, like Betty White, that's weird. And then like 2 days later, I saw it. She died. I was like, that. It was just one of those weird coincidences.
Yeah,
Like,
weird
like,
how
that's strange.
things like that happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, died at age 99.
Yeah, very sad.
It is sad. In other news, The Matrix. Have you seen it yet? The Matrix Resurrections.
Not yet. I will be seeing it very, very well. Hopefully in the next
Okay,
month or
so
so.
no spoilers or anything, but The Matrix Resurrections is not performing well at the box office. It's actually bombing. Not really bad. Wait, yeah, it's bombing badly at the moment.
Have you seen it?
I have seen it, and I really enjoyed it. I think that it's hard doing a sequel to a film when it's like, I don't know, 20 years later or something. There's so much lore and fan theories and things that you're just not going to make everyone happy with the sequel. And the direction they went in is not the direction I think people would have wanted, but it's still a good film. I thought so anyway. You get the character, you get to see the characters again, you get to go back into that world, you get to just move the story forward. I really enjoyed it, but then I looked at reviews for it and things, and it looks like a lot of people aren't enjoying it. It's currently got like a 5 point something IMDb rating. I love Keanu Reeves. I like anything with him in it, and he's in it, and he's pretty good in it. I don't know. I'm sort of disappointed that it's not doing better because I liked it. You'll have to watch it as soon as you can, and we'll have a bit of more of a chat about it because I'm just not going to say anything more. I could go further on that, but I'm not going to say anything else. So, so basically, it's performing below what Godzilla versus Kong did. Basically, I think that was like one of the last films to come out on HBO Max. So it came out on streaming at the same time as cinema, and actually it was one of the most pirated... Well, it was the most pirated movie of the week, which may also be contributing to it not performing so well at the box office, because everyone out there who just wants to watch it straight away, who doesn't want to go to a cinema, who obviously doesn't have HBO Max because it's only available in America for some reason, is just going to pirate it. So, people all around the world are just downloading the hell out of that thing and watching it. But I enjoyed it, and I think you probably will as well. There has been a trailer for the next season of Peaky Blinders, the final season. Do you watch that show?
Watched the first season and gave up.
Yeah. Okay, so I watched like the first 2 seasons and then gave up. I really want to watch it. It's just one of those things that I just haven't found the time to get back into it yet.
I enjoyed the first season, but I just struggled to get into it, and I've heard it is a very, very good show from a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's just funny, like, because obviously, like, it's kind of like a running joke of like people who like dress up like thingy from it, like with the caps and things like that. I found that all quite funny.
Yeah, it's weird. There's suddenly a lot of people from Birmingham are now thinking they're the absolute, the bee's knees.
Or people who come from like a few counties over, and I'll put this Brummy accent on to make it sound like a little bit Brummy.
So, did you know I actually very nearly applied to be an extra on season 1 of Peaky Blinders.
Did you really?
Yeah, because I think there was obviously a casting call for like native Birmingham people. I am not, which is why I didn't go for it, because I can't really do the accent. And I know it's only an extra, so it's like just walking past a camera or something. But like, I just didn't do it. I should have done it, but like, I bailed out of that. But no, I remember reading it and going, and my dad going like, "You should do it," and I was like, but yeah, could have been big. Could have been big, man. So this next season, it's for the final season, and the big headline for this is that actress Anya Taylor-Joy is returning. Now, I know Anya Taylor-Joy from... People always say The Queen's Gambit. Nah, she was in Mad Max, bro. Fury Road, one of my favourite films.
Yeah, she was, yeah.
I haven't seen the other seasons, so like, yeah, she's returning. I don't know who her character is or anything like that. I think one of the reasons why I sort of fell out of it a little bit is actually because of Tom Hardy's character. I don't know if you haven't seen it, season 2. I'm pretty sure it's season 2 or 3. Tom Hardy plays like the leader of sort of like I don't know if it's like a Jewish mob based in London or something. But he sort of does that accent that he does for everyone. That sort of Tom Hardy accent, and I don't know. I just got a little bit like sick of it, kind of thing. But yeah, Peaky Blinders season 6, new trailer out now. Check it out. There's also a new trailer for the Peacemaker TV series, which, if you've seen the Suicide Squad, the sequel, the Suicide Squad, is a spin-off podcast. Then it's a spin-off TV show based on that character, Peacemaker, played by John Cena. He was really good in the film, and I actually am looking forward to the TV show of this because it looks like it's going to be one of those like really violent comedy superhero type things. I think you'd probably like it, to be fair, man.
Maybe.
Have you seen the Suicide Squad?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you should check that out, man. It was all right. It was a bit of a laugh. It wasn't as like serious as all the other ones and stuff. It's fun. But director James Gunn has said that every episode is going to have a post-credit scene, so don't be skipping ahead to the next episode too early. Watch it. So, did you hear? This is old news, but I don't know if it's on Twitter or Instagram. I think it was on Instagram. Vin Diesel from the Fast films, he put a post out with a picture of him and The Rock, and he's basically like, "Come on, like little brother, one last ride. Like we need you back for Fast 10. Like you need to come back, my." And it says something like, "My children call you Uncle Dwayne in our house," and stuff. Basically saying like that he wants them to come back. He wants to like build bridges and things like that. Because they notoriously hated each other for the last few films, and The Rock was like, "I'm never going to work with you again." But it's weird how he did it, because like he calls him little brother and all sorts of stuff like that. And in the picture that he put up, it's like, you know how like there's a Facebook page for it of like weird photos that like celebrities put on social media and stuff.
Yeah, people love to share people love to share Vin Diesel's old photos, because he's got like photos from like 2008. Yeah, a lot of them are like blurry as hell.
Yeah,
it's like,
well, that's what this is like. But it's like it's like the Rock. It's like with a scene where the Rock, where Vin Diesel is like, "This is Brazil," from one of the ones. I don't know which one it is, but like he's standing there, he's got his arms out looking at him. But it's like The Rock is normal sized, but then it's almost like Vin Diesel's side of the picture has been like compressed or something to make him look like he's bigger than The Rock. It's really weird. So the whole message comes across as being like, "What? If you were The Rock, you'd be like, what a dick." But anyway, The Rock has just come out and said, like, "No way. I'm never working with that guy again. I'm not coming back to the Fast films unless Vin Diesel isn't there," basically. So yeah. Another bit of news that I didn't write down, I've just remembered, actually. The Book of Boba Fett is streaming now on Disney+. Have you watched any of that yet?
I haven't, no.
No, nor have I. I haven't watched any of it. I've seen a meme recently where it's like... You've seen that meme format where it's like, I watch so-and-so for the plot, and then it's like the plot ... You've seen those sort of memes?
Yeah.
Well, I've seen one of Boba Fett, and it's like, I watched the Book of Boba Fett for the plot, and it's the plot ... and then it's a picture of two like thick-ass like alien guys or something, like thick with two C's, and they're like. Anyway, yeah, it looks good. I just haven't got around to watching it yet, and probably won't for a while because I'm in the Harry Potter mindset at the minute. So yeah. That was it. That's all the stories. That's all the news stories for the week. So I mentioned a little bit earlier that in this new format of Dude What Podcast, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be coming up with like just an interesting, cool, or I don't know, just an interesting sort of discussion point that I'm then going to be chatting to my guests about. If you want to recommend something or suggest something, excuse me, send an email to dudewhatpodcast@gmail.com with your sort of conversation topic. Alternatively, I mentioned earlier about the Buy Me a Coffee website, buymeacoffee.com/dudewhatpodcast, where you can sort of, donate us £1 if you like. We really appreciate it. But there is actually like a membership thing on there where it's like £2 a month, and you can fast track you can basically suggest conversation topics, and they will come to us sort of sooner, and they're at the top of the list kind of thing. So that's there if you want to do it. But the conversation topic this week, and this is how I tried to split it up, right? Because I'm going to be having sort of a revolving door of guests. Hamby, you're going to be one of the guys that's going to be on maybe once a month or less or whenever or whatever. But I consider you to be fairly knowledgeable when it comes to like gaming and stuff like that. Obviously about a lot of other things as well, but gaming, you sort of research a lot in your own time and stuff like that, don't you?
Yeah, relatively. Yeah. It's probably like, I don't spend as much time as I'd like to with working and things, but I do like to keep on top of.
Well, I just mean that like I wrote down a load of these conversation topics, and then I tried to sort of assign who I could get to do them, and I didn't want to do one that was all about, obscure films and stuff like that, because I didn't want you to be like, well, I don't really know what I don't have much of an idea or whatever. So I thought, let's do one about gaming for the first episode in, and let's do it sort of open-ended. Like I said, we're thinking about maybe coming back for another episode and doing the other half to this. But anyway, the topic for this week's episode is the worst things about gaming. I said to Hamby, mate, just think of everything you basically hate about gaming, and I'll do the same, and then we'll have a big chat about it. So I've done mine sort of like a bullet-pointed list. I'm just going to sort of pick things out. I don't know how you've done it, Hamby, but do you want to just throw something out there for us to sort of chat about?
Yeah. My first one is like kind of 2 in 1.
Okay.
And the first point I think you'll probably be able to relate to. The second one maybe not so.
Okay.
So my first point is loot boxes, or any sort of thing that you do in gaming where it's like it's basically like gambling essentially.
Yeah, mate, that's my first point. Microtransactions / loot boxes.
Yeah, I could rant about this for hours. I think that I don't think it should be allowed in a game that is not an 18 and over. Because
100% agree with that.
18 and over is the legal age of gambling in this country. In some states in America, in most states in America, gambling is completely illegal. Like, unless you're in like Las Vegas or something, it's illegal in a lot of states. Same as a lot of other countries. But for some reason, it's completely allowed in a video game. And the thing that I find absolutely disgusting is that it's now. My second point that I was going to say, and loot boxes, is how prevalent it is in sports games, especially.
Yeah.
Sports games like FIFA, Madden, whatever. They're all 3 and over games. Like any kid would probably get FIFA.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
For Christmas,
sports games and games that are like almost some games that are like targeted towards younger kids have these. Sort of things in them.
And I think it's disgusting because it's just gambling. That's literally plain and simple. It's gambling.
Yeah, it full on is. You have to put real money in to then do this loot box thing and whatnot to find out if you've got cool players or what and things like that. But like it fully is it's gambling, definitely.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think there have been some mumblings by governments and things that they were planning on maybe regulating it a bit more, and I really hope they do, because it's one of the things. I think it's just predatory, and
Yeah.
I think if it was like any other industry, any other like walk of life, like you wouldn't get away with it. You wouldn't get away with, or you would get away with it like with adults, because an adult is, I can go to a shop and buy a scratch card or a lottery ticket,
Yeah.
But there's a reason why. Is it 16 and over you have to be to do that, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be 16 or 18 and over. But for some reason, when you're playing FIFA, like a 10-year-old kid could quite easily spend hundreds on.
And yeah, you hear
packs.
that. You hear about instances where the kid has, pinched mom's card out of her purse or something and gambled, £100 on Ultimate Team or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, luckily, it's not as frequent as it was, say, like 2013 onward. It's almost dying down a little bit, because wasn't there like a big lawsuit? Didn't like EA get done or something? I don't know if I remember right, but I think there was a big lawsuit, and sort of since then there has been, or they're still there, but they're like less obvious, basically.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that has happened with Ultimate Team, and I know this type, I do play FIFA. I don't play it as much, but I do keep on top of it. They had to basically put the weightings of the players in the packs before you bought it.
Oh, okay.
So they have to say that this is your percentage chance of getting a 85 plus rated player. You're still. I mean, I think it's absolute bullshit, because you're still at the mercy of what they decide to put in the pack. It's still. Yeah,
well, it's just sort of doing the bare minimum, sprinkling a little bit of tinsel over it to sort of cover, to hide the sins, kind of thing. Yeah, it's like, now that, like you say, they will sort of show you what you have a chance of getting, so they're like, well, you know what you're going to get. It's not like gambling, but it's a percentage of getting those things. And,
and the other thing as well is that, so one of the things I have heard companies like this say is that, you don't have to spend real money. You can spend like the in-game currency, and like anybody who's ever played a video game before that has that kind of model, or where you can buy loot boxes, knows that they basically make it completely worthless buying these packs with in-game coins. Yeah, because like it'll be like, the pack will either cost you like £1 of real money or like 10 grand of like in-game money.
Yeah.
So you're like, well, why would anybody do that? Like, they're just, you either, if you want it that badly, you just pay £1.
Yeah.
That's,
so tying into this, one of the things I wrote was like pay to win.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I know what you mean. I remember. So, I remember when, I want to say when like Battlefield 4 came out, or maybe it was 3, and it was one of the first games that I played where they gave you the option to just basically like, because with those games you had to like, the more you played it, the more guns you unlocked.
Yeah.
And they had loads and loads of guns, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And it was the first game I remember playing. This is like back in like 2012 or whatever, whenever Battlefield 4 came out, where it was like, you can just pay like £20 and unlock every single gun. And like, and I didn't do it, but because I didn't have £20 at that time.
Yeah.
But like, but I just thought like, what's the point of buying the game if you're just gonna do that? Like,
it's the same thing. It's like, so I don't play. I'm not a Battlefield man, so I don't relate to that. But I do relate to like, in some of the Assassin's Creed games, they released things that were like, you got to find all these collectibles, or you can just pay to like have them all light up on your map, so you don't have to find anything. You can just go and get them and stuff like that. It's the same thing. Yeah, it's like, and I mean, I'm not like a big multiplayer man, except for co-op and the Call of Duty and stuff like that. But I think there were some games that were like, like, if you pay, then you get this thing in the game, which gives you like a significant advantage over other players. And I think that I swear there was a big lawsuit or something, and it sort of covered a lot of these areas which is why
Might
now
have
it's
been.
not so like obvious. Or you can pay for things, but then they're just cosmetic, like, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't really like the whole cosmetic thing either, but I can kind of tolerate it because
Yeah.
I'm someone who doesn't really care about cosmetics. So I'm just like, well, I don't really care.
Yeah, I
but
don't
if
care
somebody
at all.
wants to, if somebody wants to spend a tenner on COD to get
But then I've
a new
written
skin,
there is an exception for this for me, and that is free games, because I get it. If it's a free game, you're not paying for the game. The game is free. You can play that game without doing anything. So therefore, it's fine if they want to say, hey, like, spend a tenner, get this cool skin and whatnot. Yeah, fine. Like, you don't have to buy it. It's fine. I'm playing this. I'm enjoying this game for free. So, like, you know, the option's there if I want it or whatnot. If it's in a game that you are, you know, you've already paid for and you've not got this, you know, things like that. But for example, like Warzone, you know, like Warzone's loads of adverts and there's all sorts of stuff in the store, but it's all cosmetic. You don't have to buy it, and the game's free anyway. So it's like they got a business. They got to make money off it somehow, you know. And I think that's okay.
I can kind of excuse it for that. But yeah, I've just played far too many games. Like you say, I think it has died down a bit. It was proper bad. Yeah, like 5 to 8 years ago, it was pretty bad. Well, like, every single game had like microtransactions in.
Well,
in
I
the
think
game.
it wasn't it like I think I remember the lawsuit was against EA because it was to do with the it was in the papers and everything. I wish I could remember. It was to do with the Battlefield 2 or something, or Battlefield 1, about like literally the loot boxes in that.
I remember. So I remember one of the first big controversies for microtransactions, and it was back on the 360, and it was when I think it was when Oblivion was out on 360.
And it was the horse armor.
And yeah, and Bethesda
I
tried
remember.
to charge for one of the skins for the horses, didn't they? I think, or something like that. And I remember like that was like one of the first examples of people kicking up a fuss about it, because basically Bethesda tried to charge people
because then it wasn't such a big thing, and they were charging something like $14.99 for like for literally like golden armor on your horse that you couldn't even ride into battle or anything like that anyway. It would run away or something like that. So it was literally like absolutely pointless, and players just, you know, it was new, they didn't know what they were getting, and they kicked off about it big time.
But I remember like, because I like back in like the early 2000s, I used to play like Age of Empires and stuff like that, and several other like PC games. And what they'd used to do is they'd bring out like an expansion, like a game would be out for like a year, and then they'd bring out like an expansion for the game, and it'd probably be like 10, 20 quid. I don't know however much it is for a PC expansion, but it was like it added on like a whole other bit to the game. Same with like Rome Total War, the first one, and you think like, oh, that's amazing, and they weren't expensive. They were like a tenner for like the expansion.
Yeah.
And nowadays, like, hell, like no one does that. Like,
yeah, that's a shame. That is, you don't really see those sort of expansions. It was like with the Bethesda games. When a Bethesda game came out, you could expect at least 3 decent like expansions for it, and they just don't do that anymore.
GTA 4 as well.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, all the GTAs, like GTA 5 has had nothing, and
if there
GTA
is something, it's all for online.
Yeah, exactly. But like for single player, nothing.
Yeah.
GTA 4 had 3, did it? 3 expansions?
You had Lost and Damned, you had Ballad of Gay Tony, and
there was another one, I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Maybe it was 2.
Yeah. But they were still extra, different playable character, extra missions, extra story. They were mini games, weren't they?
Yeah.
For like 12 quid or something.
Yeah, nobody really seems to do that now. They seem to make their money from either microtransactions or loot boxes, you know. And it's kind of sad, but
defo. So another point, and we've spoken about this loads over the last couple of pods, so maybe we'll just mention it briefly. But operators, this move towards it's got to be a fun character that you're playing as. You've got to play as a character with a story. You can't just be a nameless soldier or something, and it's infecting the games. All games now, you've got these roster of characters and things.
Yeah.
Even like you were saying, Battlefield, which used to be like class based, and is now like operator based.
Yeah, I talking about Battlefield, I've spoken about it quite a few times, but it definitely seems like EA are going to get stung with it. The player count, so the player count for people are basically looking at the player count for Steam. And I think on like Christmas Day or Boxing Day, Battlefield 2042 was lower down the Steam rankings for number of players at that time than Battlefield 5.
Oh, really?
Like, significantly down. It was like 30,000 people or something playing, and
No
Battlefield
way.
5 had like 70,000.
Really?
And apparently now people on certain platforms are struggling to find games. I think the player count has just dipped so massively. So people are saying that EA may well drop support for it early. They said they're going to support it for 2 years, I think. And the people saying they may well drop support like within this year, because because from EA's point of view, if they can't monetize it because they haven't got enough people playing it, it's pointless supporting it in their books, because they've already taken everyone's money for the actual game, But they'd support it for 2 years if people were spending money on operators and things. But when people don't because they don't like it, they just drop support for it, and then who knows
So the state that was released in ties into one of my points, which is the whole thing of up against a deadline, release it early, fix it later. That whole thing where now, back in the day, we used to pre-order games. You fully used to pre-order. You'd go to the midnight launch. You'd go and get it because you didn't expect it to be broken on day release. And if you did, and if it was, because it was so rare, it was hilarious. Like the early, Elder Scrolls and Sky and Fallout and stuff like that. You'd be like, haha, look at this bug, like my horse is flying in the air and stuff. Like, you excused it, but now it almost seems to be like company policy is to release it on time, in time for Christmas or something, even though it's not finished. Don't worry about the players; they'll buy it anyway. We'll just fix it in a patch. Look at Cyberpunk, the state of that.
Yeah.
That was like one of the most anticipated games. CD Projekt Red, like a great company, up against it for the deadlines. They were being pushed by the shareholders or something, and they released a game in an absolute unplayable state. That's almost that's like theft.
Yeah. I think it's definitely more games recently. I don't know if it's because games are a lot more complex these days as well. If that just like adds into it, that games are just a lot more bigger and a lot more graphically complex than what they were 10 years ago, and that means that it just is harder to have a completely polished game. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get that. Like it must be, the how good things are now. It must be harder. It must take ages. But what I'm saying is, they should, if it takes 8 years to make the game or something, they should wait until it's done, then ship it.
Yeah, the thing is, like they're on like cycles basically. So games like so for like big franchises like Battlefield or Call of Duty or Assassins, they're basically on cycles. So like they're on they'll be on like 2. So Battlefield's on like, what is it? It's quite a long cycle for Battlefield. It's like, I want to say like 3 years.
Yeah.
Since Battlefield 5 came out, and they'll basically be working on the next Battlefield already.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
They know that it has to come out in 2024 or 2024. They'll know it has to come out then, 2025 at the absolute latest, and it basically doesn't matter what state it's in as long as they can make a trailer for it. It's fine.
Yeah.
The thing I didn't understand about Battlefield 2042 was that if they knew that their game was fucking garbage, why did they release the beta?
Yeah,
the beta was like glitchy as fuck, and
Yeah.
you know, and a lot of people said like, I'm not buying it after the beta, and they released it anyway. it was exactly the same as the beta. It had loads of glitches in it. It was just a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
But people still played it. People still bought it.
I don't know, man. I just think that whole thing is just dodgy, and I think actually, I don't remember if CD Projekt Red got sued, but like there was definitely a lot of talk about people possibly suing Project Red for like misadvertising, you know, false advertisement, basically saying like this is what you're going to get, and then day release. I mean, my game was unplayable. I got it the day it came out, and so many game-breaking glitches, having to constantly restart my controller. There was a few that were hilarious, you know, there always are, but there was one where like my character was like smoking a cigarette, and then his hand glitched, but the cigarette stayed there, and then he brought another one up, and then it glitched and it stayed there, and then my screen was just full of cigarette butts on the screen, and it was just like, you know, what is this? And actually, to be fair, I don't know why I did it. I put myself through it. I played it all the way up until basically like the last level in this glitchy state, because I just really wanted to play it, and the last level was actually unplayable. Like one of the assets or something that you needed to interact with wasn't loading, so you physically could not progress through the campaign. So that's when I shelved it, went back to it about 6 months later, and played that final level, and you know, just
Yeah.
excuse me, yeah, just a hell of a letdown, like from one of the most anticipated games of the year, you know, if not longer.
The weird thing with a lot of these games, like Cyberpunk, it got like reasonable reviews from like big review sites.
Yeah,
And
weird
then, like,
that, isn't it?
yeah.
It makes you think that they must be like
yeah.
slipping them some cash or something.
Oh, completely. Like it was the same with all the recent like big AAA games. You know, they all got good scores at least. You know, at least 7 out of 10s.
Yeah.
And you know, like I remember Cyberpunk got good reviews, but then like the user reviews were obviously terrible.
Because like I remember the Cyberpunk reviews, they were saying like, you know, if it was done better, it would be amazing. So we're giving it this, and it's like, well, hang on. Yeah, hang on. It's not, like just because it's a cool idea and the things look cool doesn't mean it gets a good score if you can't play it. You know.
Yeah. I think a lot of it as well was with Cyberpunk, especially, was that they were trying to release it on old gen consoles,
Yeah,
PC
definitely.
and stuff, and like they would have probably benefited from just delaying it a year and
Yeah, and that's
releasing
something
it on...
that's something that was going to be one of my points, but we actually spoke about
sorry.
it. No, I was saying it was going to be one of my points to the whole, you know, keep supporting the old generation, but we did actually speak about it last time, and I think we summed it up pretty well. It was just that, you know, it's hard to get a console, so maybe they're supporting it. Blah blah blah. I don't want to go into that one. We went into that quite a bit. Hamby, have you got any more points?
I was going to say about games that have too many QuickTime events.
Okay, yeah.
This is probably weird coming from somebody who's a relatively big fan of the Call of Duty franchise, because Call of Duty is probably one of the worst offenders for it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, and to be fair, I don't think games that nowadays have as much as they used to. There was a period like.
Definitely, I agree with that.
Ago,
Yeah, they
where,
have died down in recent
where every
years,
single. I mean, like it was that was like 5 years ago was the Call of Duty doing the press F to pay respect. Kind of thing. So it's like it's just but there's I remember like 5 years ago there was lots and lots of games that came out that all had. It's like we can't just have a cutscene because the player doesn't feel immersed in it. So what we have to do is we have to like have like buttons coming up saying like press X to open the door or press X to, and you're like, most people don't care. Most people just want to watch the cutscene.
Yeah. It's like it reminds me of Rise Son of Rome. I don't know if you ever played that.
Yeah, I did. That was like, so when I bought an Xbox One, probably the same as you. I bought it right at the start when it first came out. There was like no games for the Xbox One. It wasn't like the Series X where everything was backward compatible and you could play like all of the Xbox One games, there was nothing to play.
Yeah.
And I remember like in the shop, and it was like literally that was it. So I was like, fine, I'll get it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bad, but was like the whole.
It's a good game, and it looked amazing. Still looks really good. Holds up.
Yeah.
But yeah, the combat is basically like it's all quick time. It's quick time combat. It's like as someone goes to hit you, every time they'll flash a certain color, and they're slowly moving towards you, and you have to push the corresponding color on the controller to like continue the combat. But yeah, it is all quick time events.
Yeah. I remember playing it and thinking like, it wasn't bad, but like, if like that had come out like in the middle of the console's lifetime, and I'd had like all these other games to play, other than that, I wouldn't have bought it.
Yeah,
like,
same. Yeah.
I would have probably seen the reviews of it and gone, nah.
Speaking of quick time events, it just reminds me of that one from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, the game, where it's the I'm going to die meme. Have you seen that?
I have seen that, yeah.
Where he's on top of he's like in a room, and the woman's like burning. She's like, "Save me!" And he like jumps. It says push X or something, but if you don't, he just hits the floor. She looks at the camera and goes, "I'm going to die," and then the room blows up. Hilarious, man.
Yeah.
Interesting, Like, I mean, you just genuinely don't see him as much these days.
I think,
or if you do, it's like you say, it's like you've got to push a button and it's waiting for you to do it, not like a timed thing where you have to press it in time, you know.
Yeah. It's not. I don't think it's as bad as it used to be. I think probably because game developers have just realised that it's just kind of lame.
Yeah.
Nobody really likes it.
It's especially annoying as well if you're in a cutscene and you put your controller down for a second to have a drink or something, and all of a sudden you've got to tap a button because you're about to get killed or something, and you miss it and you've got to restart it. You know, like annoying. Yeah. What the hell? Like, no, I love proper cinematic cutscenes. Like, I love that. I love to put the controller down and just watch it for a sec before getting back into the game.
Especially because like games nowadays, like the cutscenes are essentially like movie quality. Like there's like in Halo, like for instance,
with most of the time with actual actors in them.
Yeah. Like, you know, like I use Halo as an example because it was a recent game that has really good cutscenes, and it's like it's pretty much like a movie. Like, why would you want to ruin it by having a button come up? You know. Yeah,
defo. Interesting one, man. Yeah, quick time events, they suck. They genuinely suck. One of the points that I've got is, and this is sort of, it's still game related, but bad movie / TV adaptations of video games.
Which way round?
Okay, so I guess
movies based on games,
it works
or games
both
based
ways,
on
but
movies?
I'm thinking movies based on games.
Yeah.
Because, well, I mean, they're all bad, really, aren't they? But like, it's just this whole thing where it's people have got it in their minds that the movies and TV shows based on games are bad, and that's because a lot of the time they are, you know. But that's because what they'll do is they'll like change the source material, or they deviate in a way that Hollywood is like, that's cool, but actually like it sucks, you know. Like just some of the fans and are just like, literally, if you put this into a film, like everything I'm doing right now, I'd love it, you know, and people would love it. But instead, you're twisting it and you're making it, you know, and it's just, it doesn't help with the whole thing that, video game movies suck.
I can't think of many good ones off the top of my head.
So there's ones I like. For example, I like the Assassin's Creed movie. I like the Tomb Raider movie, as in the newer one. Man. But they aren't.
Creed was trash.
They aren't good films.
Yeah.
I just like them because I just like seeing the assassins on the big screen, and I like Fassbender. But yeah, that film sucks. There's so many of them, to the point where I think one of the, maybe up until recently, because I think actually there might have been one recently that sort of did okay. Oh, Sonic. Sonic is the first like really well performing film based on a video game. But before that, it was the Rampage movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and I think most people probably don't even know that that's based off a video game, because it's based off literally like an 80s arcade Xbox game with a massive monkey or something, you know. But
So
it's annoying because there's more and more things coming out that I think look really good, but I don't have that much hope for them. So for example, have you seen the Halo trailer that's coming out on Paramount Plus?
yeah, Halo is one of those weird ones where I've always thought it would make a fantastic movie or series of movies or whatever. Just because they wouldn't even have to stick with the Master Chief story. They could do other stuff as well, and it would still be really, really good. But yeah, I still think it might flop.
Yeah, same. I think it will. I think it will. But you know, I'm gonna watch it. I am looking forward to it, especially after just finishing. I think Fee actually watched me finish Halo the other day. She sort of just sat with me and we played through the end of it. And then I was like, "Oh, have you seen the trailer?" And I showed her the trailer for it, and like, yeah, it looks cool. Like, but I'm not expecting much from it.
No, so the other way around. So games based off of movies.
Yeah,
I remember seeing I can't remember the reviewer on YouTube, game review. I can't remember who it was, but he said if you're ever thinking about buying a game, you're in a game store or whatever, or you're on the Microsoft store, and something says something the game, like it's gonna be shit.
Yeah,
and it's because it's normally like a movie's come out and they released this video game. And because anybody who actually is into video games doesn't buy these games, it's more often than not either kids or kids' parents or grandparents
like presents for kids.
Yeah, because it's like it'll be like, you know, I'm trying to think like a Transformers, like, you know, Transformers game or something like that.
There's so many of them.
It's going to be shit. Everyone knows it's going to be shit, but it still gets released, and it normally is. They're normally absolutely appalling. Because you know, it's just a cash in, for a big movie.
So. Yeah, they are bad. There is one exception though, which is the X-Men Origins Wolverine. The game is actually a very good game, because, and I actually, to be fair, I've only played a little bit of it, but I think it's considered to be one of the best games, because they had like a really cool health system in it where that like. When you got injured, your body would literally get blown apart, and you'd be like a skeleton, and that's how you could see how much health you had. Basically, was how much like body you had, you know. And it was, I think it's because the film sucked. So it's like basically the game is what the film should have been: badass, you know, action as Wolverine, like what you want to see, basically. But yeah, I totally agree with you there. I've been suckered in by a few of them. I bought the Avatar the game
when
I was younger, you know. But yeah, that was an absolute heap. It was crap.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, the game.
I played one of them older ones, and it wasn't too bad. I played one of the older ones on like PS2. Like I think it was probably the Amazing Spider-Man. Was it the Spider-Man? I can't remember.
So no, yeah, another one actually, which is a good one, and I did love it. Maybe it's crap, but I loved it. Was actually the Spider-Man 2 game, like the game of the film. That was very good, because that was the first game that introduced the actual, like when you webbed and swung, you were attached to a building. You weren't just webbing the sky, you know, which is what games still do today. Is just make Spider-Man web the sky. It's like what the hell?
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting, man. Interesting on that one. You got any more?
I think that was about all I had. But
okay, well, I got some more.
Go on. You might think of some more.
Franchise fatigue.
Oh yeah,
I am
definitely.
sick of games coming out where, you know, and I'm going to use Far Cry as an example for this. But games coming out where you're like, it's the new one, it's Far Cry 6, and you're like, yeah, what's it going to be? Oh, it's exactly the same as the last game.
Yeah.
And the game before that, and the game before that, you know?
Yeah. Far Cry is a pretty good example, because whilst it's not a game that I particularly dislike, in fact, I used to really like the Far Cry games.
So did I, man, so did I.
But like, you know, Far Cry 4 was the last one that I played fully, and I started 5, And the reason why I stopped playing 5 was because I just got really bored of it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it's just the same shit. It's just like with Far Cry. I mean, Ubisoft games are the worst for this, where it's like you can't just play the story. You have to do everything else, or you have to do these watchtowers.
So that was another point,
Yeah.
but I guess we can tie that into this.
Yeah.
I wrote down like the Ubisoft formula.
Yeah.
You know.
So Far Cry is bad because it's like, from what I haven't bought 6. I might get it at some point, but
Yeah, I haven't bothered.
I know that it's going to be exactly the same as 5. With and they've jazzed it up by having
New
what's his
pets
face?
that you can have with you.
Well,
and stuff.
who's the guy who's the guy from Breaking Bad? I can't remember
John Carlito Esposito. What's his name?
Yeah,
John-
I can't remember. Plays Gus in Breaking Bad. Yeah,
Gus. Yeah.
They've obviously got him as like the main actor in it and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool, I guess. But it's you struggle to get excited about it when it's the same game every 3 years or whatever.
And it's like going into the sort of the Ubisoft formula is like, and it's not just, I'm just using Ubisoft as an example. It's basically when game companies they're like, hey, this really works. Let's just do it forever now, So you get like Assassin's Creed, you get all these games, Far Cry, that come out, Watch Dogs, where they're literally like, they're different things, but you've still got a map. You still need to go to the watchtowers to reveal the map, and you know.
That was, I remember when Watch Dogs, the first Watch Dogs came out, and I got it because it was quite a hyped game at the time, and I played it, and I to be honest, I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was actually okay. I thought it was actually pretty good, but it when you actually sort of boil it down, like it was basically just an Assassin's Creed game with guns and smartphone. Like it was it was okay. Fair enough, you didn't climb and stuff, but it was still just all these missions that you can do, all the same, like types of missions as well, that are in like a Assassin's Creed games at that point. You just think it just lacks creativity, because actually, like, the idea of Watch Dogs was actually pretty cool. Like the fact that you could just you could do all this cool shit on the smartphone, and it was also like gunning and driving around and stuff. It was a pretty cool game, but it could have been better if they'd had sort of gone away from that sort of tried and tested formula.
Yeah,
done
definitely.
Something else.
It's like with various franchises. Like some franchises I love, but I am sick of them. So what I want them to do is to do like a spin-off where it's obviously set in that world or something, but you don't need to call it franchise name. You don't need to call it like Assassin's Creed. You can call it something else, and we can get that it's in the same world, but it's its own thing and whatnot. It's just some of these game franchises I'm just getting a bit sick of,
Yeah,
and I think everyone is getting a bit sick of them.
Yeah, I think so. I think like the thing is that people still buy Assassin's Creed games. Maybe not as much as...
I mean, I will. I'm a sucker. I'll buy every single one. I love them. But yeah.
You must think they must reach a point where people aren't buying it anymore, or not many people are buying it anymore. Like, there's nowhere near as much hype around Assassin's Creed games now compared to like 10 years ago. When like Assassin's Creed 2 came out or something.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was a huge game when it came out. But now it's just like, it's another... it's another Assassin's Creed game.
I think what they need to do, and I'm sort of hoping, not to spoil Spider-Man Far From Home for anyone, but one of the reasons why that film is doing so well is because it literally was like, hey, let's give people exactly what they want. And I kind of feel like that's what they should do with some of these games. Like for Assassin's Creed, who the hell likes the RPG style Assassin's Creed they got going on these days?
Yeah.
Nobody likes that. And if you like it, screw you, man. Like, it sucks. Go play an actual one. Don't be turning, Assassin's Creed used to be one of the best stealth action games there was. It was all out combat as well, but it was a stealth game at its heart. It wasn't about carrying a huge two-headed axe on your back and like rolling around and stuff. I think what they should do is they should literally either reboot it and release a game just called Assassin's Creed, like do the Call of Duty Modern Warfare formula thing, and just go Assassin's Creed.
Which
you're
works,
an assassin again. You've just got the hidden blades. Maybe take more shit away and make it like hidden blades, fists, stealth, and slowly build in, just. I don't think they don't know what they're doing.
Everyone took the mick out of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, but it did rejuvenate the franchise in a way. Like it's
yeah, it did.
Call of Duty was guilty of that, and it still is guilty of it. But it's Call of Duty, so you kind of know
Yeah.
it. But before Modern Warfare, it was Call of Duty Ghost, Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, and then
Can you really distinguish any of those games?
they're all exactly the same. And Modern Warfare came out, and it fair enough, it did stick to a Call of Duty formula, but it just the name alone, I think, helped to sort of get hype for it and rejuvenate it a little bit. Maybe.
So, like I've said it on the pod before as well. I didn't like Modern Warfare the original, or the sequels, but I really liked the 2018 or 19, whenever it came out. I really liked that new Modern Warfare because I liked the gameplay. I loved the cinematics. The graphics are insane. The cutscenes are great. The cast is really good.
Yeah. Multiplayer's fun, and then Warzone came out as well, which
I feel like they need
popular.
to give. They need to give players sort of what they want. But then I guess that can work the other way, because one of my criticisms of the newest Halo game is that it's not very varied. It's like the map is one location.
The map is boring as hell.
And then you go underground, and then you're in a sci-fi location, like and it's just that. It's above ground where it's all green, and below ground where it's all steel. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it for the whole game, They need to, like, mix that up a little bit. But I think they were doing that because they were like, let's give the fans, like Halo 1 again.
Okay, this is what I mean. That this is the dumb thing that I with Halo Infinite, I like it. It's a good game, and I'm halfway through playing it, and it is good. But it's like they could have done like a more varied map, or more varied like maps frequent. As in, like, you look at like some of the best Halo games. Have you played Halo ODST?
I didn't actually play that. No,
it didn't get great reviews, but it was set in. Someone's going to probably correct me, but I think it was set in like New Mombasa. So it's on Earth.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's basically like in a city. It's all like dark, and it's raining, and you're in this like destroyed out city basically. And it was really, really cool. It was like a really atmospheric game, and they've done it in other games like Halo Reach as well. Halo 3 had some cool bits as well. And then for some reason Halo Infinite is just like playing Combat Evolved, where you've just got this.
Well, it's like playing Combat Evolved, but it's like the second mission, which is called the Silent Cartographer. It's just that mission, the game.
Yeah. And
like, it's cool. Like, it is cool, but it's like, let me go to Earth or something. Let me go and do other things.
Yeah, or just.
Is there even a weather system in that game? I don't think there is.
Yeah, there is. There
is.
It does rain. It does rain.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And it's nighttime and things like.
I've seen it go nighttime, but like, I couldn't tell you if there's a weather system in the game.
Yeah,
if it's one cloudy or if it's like raining or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of the few complaints that I've got about the game is the setting of it gets kind of a little bit samey. Yeah,
it does. And I actually, I mean, this is off topic, but I thought it was hard as well. I thought it was really hard. I was playing on normal, and I thought it was really hard. But
yeah, you got to get like the game. You got to get the gameplay right.
Yeah.
You have to. I was using the grapple hook loads, like absolutely all the time.
I was yeah, but I gotta say, like, I'm disappointed with that grapple hook because it doesn't let you grapple onto anything. So half the time you're like, because it's not letting you grapple on. It only lets you grapple onto certain surfaces, which sucks, man. Like, just cause it. Just let me grapple up the side of a cliff.
I just use it. The way that I play Halo Infinite is I basically just use my grapple hook as like a weapon.
Yeah,
so I'm just basically like I just like you do that thing. You just like power punch people. Like,
so the best thing to do with that is I do it, but I have the gravity hammer and I just whip towards someone and just like boom for the gravity hammer, and then just keep
Yeah.
doing that. Yeah, I also used it like when you're in boss. There's quite a few boss battles where someone's chasing after you, so I use it to like get away from them and stuff. But yeah, disappointed with that whole way that grapple hook thing works. A lot of missed potential with that. But still cool and a cool feature.
No, so but going back to the original point about the franchises, I do definitely agree. I can get the whole thing about franchise fatigue. It does feel, and this is not like a recent thing, but it's like it just feels like it's the same games coming out every single year.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're good, sometimes they are good, sometimes they're not. But I feel like game developers or publishing companies are a lot less willing to put out fresh franchises.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
You look at Bethesda. I think they've got one coming out next year, haven't they? A new franchise.
Starfield.
Starfield.
Yeah.
Starfield. Yeah. Like before then, it was literally just Elder Scrolls, or mostly it was Elder Scrolls and Fallout.
Yeah.
Again, games that I'm a fan of. I remember when they released Dishonored, and that was pretty good. But there's not an awful lot really that Bethesda have done other than those two franchises.
But then it does work the other way as well. Like there's some games that I'm like, where's the next one? Where's Max Payne 4? Where's The Witcher 4? Where are these games, man? Like, what the hell?
Rockstar's the worst for that.
I think The Witcher 4 is coming at some point. There's rumours that they're working on it.
Yeah, I would say Rockstar is hands down the worst game developer for that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, it's absolutely shocking how few games they've released when they're actually a fantastic developer, and they make genuinely good games. Like, I know that I thought GTA 5 was a very good game.
Yeah.
I know that you weren't sure about it. I think you said.
I just didn't. I mean, it just didn't resonate with me like the previous ones did.
I thought,
but it was still a good. It was still a good game at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really good, and I'm not expecting a GTA game every year, because that's kind of one of the things that's good about GTA, because it comes out so infrequently.
Yeah.
When it does come out, it's like, GTA, like I'm playing that. But there's just been when did GTA 5 come out? Like 2013.
2013, yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous that it's been that long since a GTA
I know,
game.
Yeah, madness. And they've released it on like 3 different machines now.
Yeah, and it's because they keep on making money from GTA Online. So
I've seen that like Dr. Dre is in a new GTA Online story that's going on at the minute. You've seen that?
Yeah. I haven't seen that, to be honest, because I don't give a shit about it. But it's just like I don't care about GTA Online. I just want to play the single player, because the single players are normally pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got a few more points, but I think we should blast through them fairly quickly because they're not really that big. So one of them I've said loads of times: no single player. If a game comes out and it doesn't have single player, I'm not going to buy it. And I don't think anyone should buy games that don't have single player, because I just think it's shit. It's like you're buying half a game. What's that about? I know you like some of them, like Battlefield and stuff like that, but
there's a few exceptions, I guess, but for the most part, I'd agree with you.
Another one is when they charge loads of money for not much stuff, for not much game. It's like Angry Joe, where he's like 4 hours, like if you're gonna charge like full price for a game, which now is like, some games are like 60, 70 quid.
Yeah.
It's like there needs to be a whole lot of game there, and not just go to that tower and go to this tower. It needs to be like proper stuff, It's like the recent GTA remaster. Yeah, it's 3 games. I get that, but they're all crap. They're all remastered badly, and they charge like full price game. I think it might have come down now a little bit since the whole thing about it being not very good. But yeah, at the time of release, that was like full price for like 3, games that look like crap.
Mm-hmm.
And last point I've got, I only wrote this down when me and you were playing earlier. So me and Hamby had a little game on a game called Aliens Fire Team Elite, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we saw it on Game Pass, and we're like, hell yeah. Me and Hamby quite often will jump into these like little or just random co-op games to see what they're like. I'm actually thinking about doing that on the live stream on Friday. I don't know if you're about on Friday. It might be cool to do.
Yeah, that should be. That'd be pretty fun.
But yeah, so we went on that, and that had what I'm going to say. And the newer Assassin's Creed has it. Loads of new games have it. It's that thing where when you're on the menu screen, and it comes up with a cursor. What the hell? Just let me push down and stuff to jump through the the things in the menu. I don't want to have to slowly drag a cursor across the screen. This isn't a computer. I'm playing a console. What the hell's that about? I just don't understand that the cursor on a console thing.
Yeah.
And because it's not like it's like what it is on the gameplay. It's like just for the menus. I don't know. I guess they probably have done it because if you play it on PC, yeah, you are using a cursor, not just like selecting through the options, but just take that option out on console.
Yeah.
It just bugs me. I don't even know what it's called. I'm just going to call it cursor menus.
It's a cursor, I guess.
Yeah. Annoying. Really annoying. Anyway, that's all my points. I imagine that's probably all of yours as well, Hamby.
Yeah, it's all done, mine, yeah.
Okay, so I think we're almost finished. I just want to say I hope you enjoyed this episode. I did speak to Hamby earlier about maybe doing a follow-up to this at some point, which is like the best things about gaming, which might be quite cool. Let me know if you think we should do that, if that'd be cool, or if we just move on completely. But yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this first episode back of Dude What Podcast, this sort of new formula. Trying my best to make it as sort of entertaining and interesting as possible. And one of the reasons why I'm doing it is because it seems to be that the big chat episodes, especially the ones with me and Hamby and that, and 7:30, who is going to be coming back, they always perform really well. More so than when we just watched a film and got incredibly drunk while talking about it, basically. So yeah, I'm getting good feedback, good response from these episodes. So yeah, this is the direction that this podcast is going to go in now. Mate, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, bro. It's always a pleasure to have you on. Love chatting to you about anything, really, man. It's just interesting stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm had a good time, and yeah, always happy to be on and talk about random shit for a few hours.
For literally like an hour and a half or something.
That's just what I do.
Oh, Hamby, we forgot to do the Hamby's little segment. Do you want to just do it quickly now before we finish? Very quickly. Have you got anything?
Yeah, I could do it.
Okay. So this should have been earlier in the episode. I'm just going to leave it how it is, right at the end. But in future, Hamby's going to be doing this little thing. We're going to just blast through it quickly. But it's this new little segment that Hamby's doing called Hamby's Hambone to Pick. He's pissed off, he's angry, his name must be Hamby. It's Hamby's Hambone to Pick.
Yeah, okay, this is going to be a quick one. And it's mainly because it was just Christmas. But I just don't like turkey.
Me either, dude.
I don't like turkey. It sucks. I only eat it because it's what you do at Christmas. But actually, I don't eat turkey all year round. I eat chicken because chicken's just way nicer than turkey. Turkey, it's sometimes nice when it's fresh out the oven and it's been cooked well. But if you eat it after it's gone cold, it's nasty. It's like eating cardboard.
It's so dry. Why do people love it so much?
It's nasty. It's because it's quite healthy, isn't it? And stuff.
I guess it's just tradition, isn't it?
Yeah. But everyone in my family doesn't want to have the alternatives, like goose or something. They don't want to have it. I'd have that in a heartbeat.
Hell yeah, I'd have goose over turkey. 10 out of 10.
I've not met many people, but there's a few people who will eat turkey all year round.
Oh yeah. Turkey sandwiches and things like that. Don't get it.
Never understood them. Just eat chicken like a normal person.
Yeah. Eat chicken like a normal person. Well, there we are. That was Hamby's little Hambone to pick segment where he's going to be just talking about stuff that he hates. So yeah, sorry for doing that like right at the end. I actually think that was kind of cool doing it. That was like the perfect send off. Just eat chicken, all right? Fucking chuck the turkey in the bin. But yeah, thanks for listening to this podcast. We will be back on Friday for the live stream, hopefully, and the main podcast is going to be back next Tuesday. As always, I've been your host, Harry D. I've been joined with my friend, the one and only Mr Callum Hamby. And, yeah, I'll see you next week. I'm hoping that Hamby will be back at some point, so he'll see you again. You'll see him again soon.
I'll probably be live streaming on Friday with you. Probably.
Sounds good. Thanks again for listening, everybody. If you want to get in touch with the podcast, it's dudewhatpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to throw a quid at us, you can head over to dudewhatpodcast buy me a coffee site. I'll put it in the link below. Until next time, everybody. See you later. Dude, what?
See you later.